Hello and welcome to another video. This will be another Boogie2988 reaction. This one is called Call of Duty Players Mad, PlayStation Portal Issues. I do have a few friends that do play Call of Duty. Um, I used to have this friend Matthew who played Call of Duty a lot, probably still does. Um, I know Nigel like to play Call of Duty a lot. Ash, whenever she is able to play on PlayStation, she's played Call of Duty Modern Warfare as well. There's about like 15 other names I can list that I know that have played and enjoyed Call of Duty in the past. So I'm actually interested in seeing what this video is about. Even though I don't play Call of Duty too much, I have played it a good bit in my past as well. So I'm actually curious what this video is about. So I'm curious what Call of Duty players are mad for. So this one it says PlayStation Portal issue. So anyways, with that being said, let's see what happens in this video.
Welcome to my weekly game news roundup, where I take all those tiny little crumbs and morsels of gaming news and I smash them together into a giant cake to keep us filled over the weekend. So let me fill you up. Before we get started, I want to let you know the t-shirt that I'm wearing right now could be yours. I've updated my merch store with 5X t-shirts, stickers, mugs, and everything else. Use the link on the description box below. First off, the PlayStation Portal launched this week. And I have my opinions about this product, which I'll share with you momentarily. But as it is right now, if you see one of these in the store, you might want to pick it up if you're interested. Don't wait for Christmas, because apparently this thing is in fairly short...
What? That reminds me of Nintendo Switch. Okay, that's interesting. When did PlayStation release that? I don't think I'll ever get that. PS5 is, if anything, PlayStation is what I want to try to get next. I'm not... It's like an advanced version of a PSP. So, because I had one of those things when I was in like early middle school. So I've used that before. I played a few games on it. It was fun. I had a few good games on it, but still, that's crazy. So, anyways, let's continue.
Demand. They did not make very many of them, and if you want to get one, you'll probably want to get it now. Though personally, I don't really see the point in this device. I personally wanted to see PlayStation get in on the whole portable thing. But this isn't like the Nintendo Switch. It can't play its own games natively. This is exclusively a streaming device. First off, you have to have a PlayStation 5 at home, which is already a $500 investment. Then this thing costs $200 for an LCD screen.
Yeah, if you have to have a PlayStation 5 to get one of those things, there's just no point in that. So you're probably not going to see me get that. I'll get a PlayStation 5 sometime next year, but I'm not getting this. Not this portable Nintendo Switch knockoff.
That doesn't seem right to me. And then you can only stream your existing games to it. Now, I get it. I don't have to share my television screen with very many people, so maybe there's people who would like to have this in their home so that they can go from, letting their family watch television while they play their video games and then go back to the television and then back to their portal. I'm just not that person. I am, however, somebody who has to spend a lot of time in waiting rooms these days. And I don't think it would be a bad thing to have video games in my hand. I bring my Switch with me, I bring my phone with me, and I play video games there. Just, I don't trust my waiting office's Wi-Fi to handle PlayStation gameplay. When you look at the reviews for this thing, it kind of seems a little bit dead in the water. The chip they use isn't very powerful. The screen isn't that great. It doesn't feel that strong in your hands. So there's also tons of other remote play options already out there that don't require you to make a brand new $200 investment to get this exclusive piece of hardware to do it. And look, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. If this is a device that you want and it will fulfill some sort of role in your house or your gaming strategy, go for it. However, I really wish the PlayStation had spent a little bit more time making a much more powerful system, something that could play games natively, something that could also stream on top of playing games natively, that it's just a better system. If you need this in your life, I wish they had done it better for you. And if they can't, I at least wish they'd given you a better price. Super Mario RPG comes out this weekend, and I've watched a ton of reviews to determine whether or not I should pick this game up, because I never played the original. Now, all the reviews say the classic...
More reason why I need to try to get a Switch eventually. All the old games you can play now on Nintendo Switch is something the other Nintendo consoles didn't do. I like that Nintendo Switch is doing that. I also like that on Nintendo Switch, you can play the old Mario Party games, Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3. My dad and I, when I was young, used to always play Mario Party 3, so I'm going to tell him about this. And I think it would be cool if he and I played in Mario Party 3 together. Obviously, it's not like an online game. We'd have to be sitting next to each other to play it and stuff like that. But still, I would like to actually play that game with him again. And because of these old Mario Parties being on Nintendo Switch now, that's now possible, and I won't need to get a Nintendo 64 just to make that happen again. So that's interesting with that. So, but yeah, it looks like Call of Duty isn't the main focus here. I thought it was for some reason. He'll probably talk about Call of Duty soon, but he hasn't really mentioned Call of Duty yet. Just the PlayStation Portal thing, and now he's bringing up some of the old games you can get on Nintendo Switch. Apparently, Super Mario RPG wasn't on Switch yet, but this weekend that'll be a different story. Like, it'll be out. You'll be able to play it on Switch. Who knows how many old games are going to be available to me once I actually get a Nintendo Switch. So it's still going to probably be a while, especially if my dad can't get me a Switch on Christmas. So I'm going to ask him if he can. So, yeah.
Gameplay's there, for better or for worse. If you don't like those old school mechanics, you're probably not going to love an old school RPG here. But the fresh coat of paint makes it look beautiful. There's end-game content for you to enjoy after you beat the main storyline. If you want a challenge, you can affect the challenge levels, make it a little bit more difficult and a little bit more fun, a little bit easier depending on who you are. And overall, it's just a cool and weird story. There's not much like this in the Mario world. If you go into this expecting, classic safe Mario, there's a lot of very not safe stuff in this game. So, I don't know. I think it's probably worth picking up. This is a classic that changed the world when it came out. It's getting remade, and the critics so far are giving it an 83 for its Metascore. I think it's worth picking up. Let me know down below if I should pick this game up and start playing it this weekend. There's brand new gameplay for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And honestly, having sat down and watched this today, I think I'm finally excited for this game. I mean, we've all been really, really worried about this game because a lot of the Arkham games that have been coming out, anything coming out in the Batman universe has been very games as a service.
That actually does sound interesting, but that's PlayStation 5 exclusive. That'll just be one game I'll try to get when I have a PS5. So,
it's undercooked and not well done. And I'm a little bit biased. I really like James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad. So I I want a good Suicide Squad game. What I don't want is a 4-player multiplayer game. I don't want Gotham Knights, basically. I just don't want this game to be Gotham Knights. And having sat down and watched this today, it looks like they've addressed a lot of our concerns. And it looks like this game might end up being worth playing. Now, we're still quite a ways out from this game, so I expect it to continue to get better. Boy, I really hope it gets better. This video did almost come across as like some sort of damage control from all the negativity from other YouTubers. Even if it was that, though, I did manage to raise my expectations, which isn't saying much because my expectations were absolutely on the floor. Good job, Rocksteady. I hope you get this one right. And finally, it's been 20 years of Call of Duty, and how did Activision choose to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Call of Duty? Well, according to the critics and the players, by taking a giant, massive dump on their franchise. The critics gave this game a depressing 56, and when it comes to the user scores, 1.7. And if you check YouTube, Reddit, social media, Twitter, it doesn't matter where you go, Call of Duty fans are irate. as they should be. Activision had this really good thing going where all they had to do was pretty much make the same game every year. Just update the graphics, update the gameplay, add more stuff, and make it cooler than the previous year. Maybe change things up a little bit by changing the settings or changing the prestige system. And somehow they've managed to screw that up. One of the problems I've seen outlined is the campaign mode just not being very good. And look, that's true of most Call of Duty games for the last few years. They just want to get you through it so you get into the multiplayer. But the complaints this time around seem to be extremely valid and extremely critical. It seems to be a very rushed, not interesting gameplay mode. And I hate that for you guys, because back when I played Call of Duty, I almost exclusively played it for the single-player campaigns, only messing around multiplayer just a little bit. So if you're somebody who buys this game for the single-player campaign, you probably shouldn't. The multiplayer, is always going to be at least good, so if you buy these games exclusively for that, you've got that here, but a lot of people are still complaining about it for pretty good reason. Looking at this week's patch notes, they're saying there's a lot of things that they want to get right, but they have not been able to address yet. They're saying things like multiplayer weapon balancing, zombies gameplay, stability fixes, and just overall, the game seems to be rushed and not very well done. This is a game that's going to have to be fixed with patches. And while I haven't played Call of Duty for the last few years, I just found this really depressing to read. People were complaining about this mostly invisible skin, the Gaia skin that came back from Modern Warfare 2 to show up in Modern Warfare 3. People hated this in Modern Warfare 2. The community was pretty unanimous with it, and for whatever reason, they decided to bring it back for the new one. So, great job, Activision. Way to not listen to your players. And sometimes I think to myself, if you buy an Activision game, specifically a Call of Duty game, you kind of know what you're in store for. But regardless of that, people are paying good money for these games. Activision owes it to them to make a good game, and I think it is possible.
May not play Call of Duty that much, but I have to agree with what Boogie's saying here, and the friends I mentioned at the start of this video probably would agree too. I don't know for sure. I would have to talk to them and ask them, and that is if they even have played this new Call of Duty yet. I don't know if they have. So, and plus one of the names I mentioned at the start of the video, I haven't talked to them in over a year. So, 2 years actually. Last time I talked to that friend, another one, name, I said Matthew. It's been a couple years, but if he does have Modern Warfare 3, he probably feels the same way. So,
even with a yearly release schedule, to make sure your game is at least good on launch. There's this franchise group of players, just like me when it comes to Magic the Gathering, who are going to buy a lot of what you produce, if not everything. And if the product isn't good, you're hurting a lot of people. And I really am sick of having to say Activision has done that again and again and again. But as usual, this is one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and I know you're going to let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know while you're down there what you think about this gaming news series coming back. Let me know what you think about the t-shirt. Don't forget you can purchase your own using the links down below. And as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.
Well, that was an interesting video. Might look into this, see what's going on with this whole Call of Duty thing. I don't play it much anymore, but it'll be interesting. And I'm interested to see what happens with that. You know, my favorite Call of Duty game will always be Black Ops 2, and if they remake that, they better do a good job of it. But I'm a little worried about that after what they just did to Modern Warfare 3. The new Modern Warfare 3, not the old one. But because the old Modern Warfare 3 was a lot of fun. I played that a bunch when I was on 360, so. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Stay tuned for the next one. And, yeah, more reactions be coming.